The longest-running off-road and action motorsports radio show on the planet is coming to you live with the biggest guest in motorsports. Here is the only man on the planet who can pack this much dirt slinging and tire slaying into 2 hours a week. Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to get your ears blown. Here is Jim Beaver and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
What up, what up, what up? Another Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor here. Jim Beaver on the mic once again, episode number 375. Can't believe we've been doing this damn many of these, but we'll keep them rolling. But we got a fun show today. This one, I don't know, it's a little bit different. This is a crazy week for me. It's mid-400 week, one of the biggest off-road races on the planet. I will be racing and doing media and doing a live show from Fremont Street later this week. So this show, it's kind of interesting. We got some big guests. Aaron Plessinger, Supercross rider, 450 rookie season, coming up a championship last year. That's as big as it gets. But we're switching up. Obviously, Tiffany Stone, she'll be doing her regular segment. We'll be previewing the Mint 400. And then hour number 2, I did this amazing interview. It's supposed to be a 12-minute interview with my good friend Shawn Gibson. They own Gibson Performance Exhaust. And he's also a big off-road fan. Obviously one of our sponsors here on the show and my race program. But it was going to be like a 10, 12-minute interview for one of these national slots. Shawn and I talked for like 30 minutes. And it was all good content. We talked about, because he's an off-road guy and things like that. We talked about motorsports, and I just decided to air the whole damn thing in the show. So hour number 2, we're going to have Shawn with Gibson Exhaust for like 3 segments. And part of the reason is like I've got a bunch of guests lined up this week, right? But they happen to be Friday when I do my live show at Fremont Street. So we are going to have Ryan Arciero. We are going to have Jerry Zayden. We've got Sarah Price on the line. We've got Seth Quintero. He's coming on the show. We've got, her as 4x4 Barbie, Pleasant Cook. She's going to be on the show. My good friend Jacqueline Carrizosa. She's going to be on the show. She's riding solo. She's Iron Womaning the Mint 400 on a dirt bike. Like, yeah, we want to talk with her. So we got a great group of guests, but they're going to be Friday on Fremont Street. So we got a lot to talk about here on the show. We'll be dissecting the Mint 400. My plans there. Hopefully I can see you fans out there. So it's going to be a little bit of shakeup. We're going to talk some IndyCar opener. St. Pete coming this weekend too. Massive weekend motorsports. I can't wait to get into it. And we're going to do that after this break right here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
All right. What's happening here? We are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we got a lot crammed into this show today. You know, we say all killer, no filler. That is the truth today, man. We're packing this thing with a lot of guest interviews, a lot of people chiming in, which means we're going to have to cut our power rankings a bit short this week. I know it's something I've loved doing, but we just got so damn much to talk about. I don't know if we're going to get to power rankings. Last week we dedicated 2 segments to it. This week it's going to be like 2 minutes. Seriously, it's kind of bananas, man. We got a lot happening, a lot cranking here on the show today. Before we get to that, though, man, there's I don't know, we've got so much. Mint 400, I did want to get the word out, though. I'm going to be there. A lot of you have been hitting me up. What are your plans, Jimmy? You know, I want to meet you, and then we got the question with posters. So here's the deal. I will be on Fremont Street on Thursday and Friday. I've got 3 appearances we'll be making on Fremont Street here at the Mint 400. I'll be around, trust me. I'll be around. You probably run into me, but I guess 3 formal appearances. So first off, on Friday, I will be doing radio, Tiffany Stone and I, live from the Polaris booth from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So 12 to 2 on Friday, I will be at the Polaris Razor booth. Then on both Thursday and Friday, I'll be doing autograph signings at Vision Wheel. Thursday from 1 to 2:30, I'll be signing at Vision Wheel. And then Friday from 10 to 11 a.m., I will be signing at Vision Wheel. And and so I posted up, they've got some new posters. I haven't even seen them yet. I guess they had some new posters made of me. I guess they had like 2,000 of them printed. Hopefully they turned out all right, because I haven't seen the damn things, but I'll be signing them. And I know a lot of you have been hitting me up, hey, we want to get one of your posters. Well, if you're at the Mint 400, it's easy. Just come and I'll sign a bunch of extras. So even if I'm not in the booth, you can still get a signed poster. But I'm going to try and snake a few dozen of them and bring them back, so you guys can hit me up if you want one. And I'll see about getting those things mailed out to some of you fans. If you do think you want one, DM me on Twitter, DM me on Instagram. I will give you fair warning, I check my Instagrams a little bit more than my Twitter DMs, but I do check both pretty regular. But yeah, so ping me on those if you want one, your address, your details. I'm telling you, if you ping me now, I might forget about it. So you can ping me now, but definitely do it again next week for sure. And then I'll be able to get something mailed out. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing at the Mint 400. As far as appearances go, obviously racing on Sunday and my Polaris Razor. Got a lot of big news coming out around that here later this week, so definitely stay tuned. We'll be talking about my race program and stuff like that. I think I start like 35th out of 70-something, 77, 75. I don't know, it's just crazy. Bananas how many entries are in Turbo. I think the race is like close to 600 entries now. It's like shit's nuts, man. And I know I can't say that right now. I guess we're going to have to trim that out for national syndication. But it is, man. It's crazy. So definitely looking forward to the Mint 400. It's become one of my favorite events of the year. Even if you're just, a spectator and can only go to one event a year, I would say the two you want to dial in, lock into your schedule, the short course event's Crandon, the desert event is the Mint 400. There's just something for everybody at those, and I'm sure T-Stone and I will get to talking about that. So, yeah, I mean, this is a packed weekend. Obviously, we've got the Mint 400. You got Supercross going on. But also, the big one for me is, out of all motorsports, I'm a massive, massive IndyCar fan. We haven't talked much IndyCar on this show because we haven't had a lot to talk about, just some off-season news, notes, things like that. So we haven't really dove into it. But I got to tell you, IndyCar opens in St. Pete this weekend, and I got to tell you, I'm kind of bummed. Not at IndyCar, but, I got a race on Sunday, and I love racing. Don't get me wrong. But which means I'm going to miss the season opener in St. Pete. So I'm going to have to DVR that and watch it when I get back from the race. But IndyCar in St. Pete this weekend. This one, it's a crapshoot, man. I have no idea what to think. I mean, IndyCar's got a stacked grid this year. They're talking about close to 40 cars for the Indy 500, which is unheard of. So they're going to have this massive bump day. They rechanged all the rules regarding bump day. They're going to do it completely different this year, which I applaud IndyCar for doing because last year sucked. Easiest way to say it, it sucked. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to the Indy 500 this year, especially with that many entries. You're going to have some good drivers get bumped. I mean, last year we saw my boy Hinch, get bumped out, but I think this year – I got to tell you, that's a lot of bumping. We haven't seen that in years, IndyCar just blows me away how fast that series is growing, how good the competition is, the sponsors coming in. I mean, they're riding this massive wave of momentum. Meanwhile, over on NASCAR side, it's a bit like crickets, man. Sponsors bailing, and they just don't know what to do. And IndyCar, man, super, super excited for this season. 2019 is going to be insane. If you got to put me on the spot, you got to make me pick a season champ before we get right into it. I'm going to say my boy Alexander Rossi has one hell of a shot at the championship in 2019. I think him and Andretti, obviously Penske's always going to be tough, but I really, really think that that they're going to, they're going to be the ones to beat this year. That is my prediction. Couple of dark horses I'll throw at you. I would definitely say, I think Sebastian Bourdais. I think Hinchtown. Hinch is going to have a good year, and I think Graham Rahal, I think they've been doing their homework too. So those are kind of my predictions for early on, just I guess preseason predictions. Rossi to take the championship. Those other three, my dark horses, look for them to do some rad stuff, And I guess the cool thing about all three of those drivers, they're not necessarily on the quote-unquote super teams, right? Ganassi, Andretti, I'm drawing a blank here, right? But yeah, so, looking forward to the season opener there in St. Pete. Obviously, Mint 400 going on this weekend, and then we got a talk about our power rankings. And I know I'm cutting everything short today, right? Really short, only because we got so much to get to in the show, so many guest interviews and things like that. But talking about our power rankings, I was going to throw mine together this week. Obviously, we had Supercross and NASCAR were kind of the two big main ones competing. And we actually had Joey Logano, who I love. I know we've had our moments on the show before talking about Logano, but super talented driver, also Polaris Razor ambassador. He was going to be my guest this week. Obviously, things got shaken up because he won this past weekend, and so that's going to get delayed. I don't know when we're going to have Joey on the show, but I think at some point soon he will be. But he took that NASCAR win, and then you got Cooper Webb. Another victory in Supercross. This kid, we want to talk about how stacked the Supercross grid is and how anybody can win on any given weekend. But I got to tell you, Cooper Webb, he's making it pretty tough for everybody else. I know that points race is, is still kind of close, but Cooper Webb, this kid, how can you not be impressed by what Cooper Webb has done in 2019. Insane. So I don't know about my full power rankings, but I can definitely tell you number 1 is going to be Cooper Webb, and probably number 2 is going to be Joey Logano after that weekend. Tough weekend, just because there was just a lack of racing, but those are kind of my 2 tops. I don't know. Would love to hear from you guys throughout the show, though. As always, it's at JimBeaver15. Hit me up, ping me. Let me know what your thoughts are. Who had the best and most impressive performances this past weekend? What is your opinion? I know next week we're going to get back to a full slate of power rankings 1 through 5. This week I'm just giving you my top 2, mainly because we're running out of time, but this is where you get to chime in. This is where you get your voice heard. Hit me up at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. Let me know who are your top performers of the past weekend, and let me know what you're looking forward to this weekend. Is it the Mint 400? Is it the IndyCar opener in St. Pete? Supercross? What's on your radar? What are you going to be tuned into? What are you going to be locked and loaded? And then we're a couple of weeks out, man. We got the 50th annual Gator Nats on NHRA side. We got Glen Helen for Lucas Oil. Obviously, we had the side-by-side Triple Crown. We haven't even jumped into talking about. We'll talk about that later in the show. That happened in Wisconsin this past weekend. But, man, it's been a great kickoff to 2019 as far as the motorsports, and we're not even into to IndyCar and short course and a bunch of other series. So definitely looking forward to what's to come this year. We are going to take a short break, and we come back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. It's going to be Aaron Plessinger right here on The Line. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host the Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest, Mr. Aaron Plessinger, to the line. How's everything going, my friend?
Hey, man, it's going pretty good. I'm out here in Atlanta having a good time and ready to go racing tomorrow.
Yeah, ready to go racing tomorrow. What, talking about that, you've had, I guess, how was this year, your take on it? I got my take on it, but how has your take been on this 450 rookie campaign, man?
It's been pretty good. I've been slowly plugging along. I didn't get too much riding in the off season, so I've had to kind of test the bike as we go along the races. So top 10 right now is pretty much all I can ask for. I'm getting better and better each race, and I'm having a little bit more confidence come to me every race. And just need a start, and I think we'll be up there battling with those tough runners. Yeah.
I've read a lot on the past, and I know in your past, you've spent a lot of time on a 450. It's not like the bike's completely new to you, but I think the last couple of years, you really haven't spent much time on a 450, right? I mean, what's the biggest transition you've had going from the 250 to the 450?
I did spend a lot of time on 450 when I was in amateur. But yeah, the past couple of years I've been just trying to get my 250 to work right. And, I didn't really ride 450 that much. And then, the biggest difference, I would say, I think they changed the frame on the 450, and I was riding the old frame last year. So when I switched, it was a totally different bike. And, it was a little weird. I'm still trying to fine tune little stuff. And I think probably the biggest change for me is just having all the power I need and not having to wring the thing's neck to go fast. So I think that's probably the biggest change for me.
Yeah. Well, and how about you? I mean, personally, 250, you had an amazing campaign last year. I think, what did you get, 4 wins? I mean, you had a great season there in 250 West, took home the championship. Then you moved this year to 450s, and season is double as long, man. This is like some endurance racing here. I mean, every single week, dude, there is not a weekend off. I mean, you guys, you want to talk about a grueling schedule. I mean, how has that been for you thus far? I mean, if you're running West, you'd be having vacation time about now. How's that been with you moving up to the 450s this year, and just with the physicality of the calendar?
Yeah, it's definitely a big change for sure. Yeah, if I was on the West Coast, I'd be racing here this weekend because this is the shootout. But I've never done more than 6 races in a row for Supercross, so it's a pretty big change. And I think I prepped myself pretty good mentally for it. I knew it was going to be a long season, and I'm just trying not to burn myself out in the week. Just trying to keep it light, keep it fun. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it because I'm still ready to roll. I'm still I'd like to say I'm just getting started.
Yeah, well, and I think with 450 in the schedule, like you said, I mean, you guys have been super consistent right there in the top 10. I mean, it's not you're gonna have good weeks and you're gonna have bad weeks, but I think with the 450 and the length of the calendar, man, it's just kind of finding your groove throughout the season, right? And you just keep clicking off rounds and gathering those points, and not have one where you finish back there in 20th position or something, right?
Yeah, for sure. You got to be consistent. It's definitely a game of consistency and who can stay healthy the longest, and click them good finishes off. But I'm working on it. I'm working on getting up there into the top 5 and hopefully a podium. So I'm hopefully gonna finish a little bit higher in the point standings than I am right now, and then we'll start on outdoors.
Yeah, well, and talking about year number 1 moving into a 450, I mean, you feel like you had any pressure? I mean, I feel like most riders, there's a year there for growth, right? I mean, most teams, you move into that position and they go, hey, this is kind of a learning year, and obviously you, like you said, you want to take podiums, but I know the realist in you and everybody is like, all right, we need to have a year here to really figure out the bike and make the adjustments and learn how to race. I mean, you look at the 450 class this year, and there's like you said, there's about 10, 12 of you guys that could win on any given weekend. So, I mean, how has the approach been to 2019 from the team and from you? I mean, are you really happy with the way you guys are progressing? And, is this kind of what the game plan was going in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super stoked with it. I think the team's good with it too. I know they want better finishes and stuff, but, we didn't get much time to develop the bike for me, and like I said, we've been trying to go at it in the race weekend. So I think we're moving along as fast as we can, and I think they're really, really pumped with my riding and how I've been doing. It's just getting those starts and running up there with those guys. But yeah, I think that this was kind of the expectation. I don't think they expected me to go out and light the world on fire and win and get podiums every weekend. But, as much as I would like that, but, I think I'm doing pretty darn good in the position that I am right now. And I definitely think they want to give me a year to grow with the bike and to develop the bike for me and how I like it. And, I'm still getting to know these guys pretty good, and I think they're working with me as fast as they can, and I'm working as fast as I can. So you can't really ask for more.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you a question. I know coming into the season, one of the big things was number, right? And you chose to ride number 7, man. And that, that's one of those where I know it's been vacant for a couple years now, and obviously that number previously James Stewart. Feel any pressure moving in and taking that number 7? I don't want to say take it. Obviously, it was there. You know what I mean? And was there any conversations with James over that? Like, I mean, I know that's one of those. I feel like this was kind of one of those, like when Dale Earnhardt retired. Well, not retired, but passed away. That number 3 sat vacant for a while. It's like, man, who's the guy that's going to jump in and fill those shoes? You feel like there was any pressure jumping into that number 7?
There was a little bit of pressure, some people didn't like it and some people loved it, I know I didn't. For me, as a fan, I didn't want to see the number 7 just kind of fade away,
Yeah.
And the opportunity was there, so I jumped on it, and it definitely gives me some big shoes to fill. But I think that's good for me. Coming through, I think having some big shoes to fill is better than having no shoes to fill.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird approach to it, but I like it, and I think throughout the rest of this year and next year, I think I'm gonna prove to some people that I deserve it, and I'm going to make it look good.
Yeah. Well, there's always, part of me, the fan talking to me, talking in me right now is like, man, it seems like there's always something iconic about those single digits, right? And I'm like, man, Aaron with the number 7, I don't know. Like, to me, it seems like, some of the, best riders in history have always had single digit numbers, So to me, like, there's something special about you riding that number 7.
Yeah. And it's, maybe it's destiny that I picked it, and I'm going to be multi-champion. Hopefully, that's what I can hope for. But you never know until it comes, and I'm going to work my butt off until it comes.
Yeah. Well, I know obviously we got Atlanta this weekend. Then, part of me looking forward, man, Daytona. That's one of the big ones. We're about a week out from Daytona. What's the approach for that one? Daytona's always one of those interesting ones, where it's a little bit longer, kind of almost a mix of outdoor and, and Supercross just because of the length of the track and things like that. And that's one of those big ones. I don't care what motorsport it is. Everybody wants to say they won Daytona, man. You guys, obviously, how's your approach heading into that race just because it is a little bit different?
I'm super excited for Daytona. I raced it in 2016, and I had the flu pretty bad, so I didn't really do what I wanted to do there. And I think I can really do some damage there. I really like that track, and I really like the sand, and I think that track suits my riding style pretty good. And I think we're going to go in there guns blazing and try and win that thing.
Yeah. So before we let you go, man, I know you talked about, kind of the goal is to get to, top 5, find the podium at some point this year. Here on out with this season, what's it going to take for you guys to find that top 5 and eventually find that podium this year? What steps you guys got to take for you to make that happen this year in 2019?
I just think plugging away at what we're doing, keep on being just steady and smooth and working on my starts all the time. And I think we can get it. I've been getting better and better each race and feeling more confident and making my bike work for me a little bit better each race. And I think just keep on plugging away and I think we'll have it.
All right. Well, I appreciate the time, Aaron. I know, you guys are busy. It's media day today, but I appreciate the time, man. Good luck at Atlanta, Daytona, the rest of 2019. We'll be pulling for you, my friend.
All righty, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Awesome catching up there with Aaron Plessinger, class act of a dude, and he's a fun interview, man. He got some charisma. You love it when professional racers, they got they come in and I don't want to say guns a-blazing, but just real talk, and fun talking with Aaron Plessinger. Looking forward to seeing, his rookie campaign and how it unfolds. We'll be back after this with Tiffany Stone on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by, you guessed it, Polaris Razor. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at motoshieldpro.com. When looking for a new wheel for your off-road vehicle, car, truck, or UTV, the choice is easy. You choose what the pros use. Rob McCachran, Keegan Kincaid, and myself, Jim Beaver, all exclusively use Vision Wheel, whether we're dominating Baja, taking the cup at Crandon, or shredding UTVs. Vision Wheel's trend-setting designs and durability will set you apart from the competition and your friends. Check out visionwheel.com or at Vision Wheel on social media to learn more. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'd like to welcome Tiffany Stone and her T-Stone rules to live by to the show. What kind of rules do we have for Mint 400 week, Tiffany?
Let's see. T-Stone Rule 65. Finishing is half the battle, but finishing is always the best.
You're totally shooting from the hip. I was thinking something like Mint 400, Las Vegas, like T-Stone rules to live by. Don't get so drunk that you miss your start time at the race or something like that.
I was going to go and do something like that, but then I thought I'd try to be a little bit more inspirational, and it did not succeed.
Yeah, you're like, we're not going to the gutter, and then I took you there anyways. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, Mint 400 this week. I know you're flying out. You're going to get to take it all in. I'm coming in early Thursday morning, so I'm going to miss the parade, but I'll be there for a couple of days of contingency and obviously race day and stuff like that. But, yeah, you're coming in. What, aside from radio on Friday, what does your week entail?
So pretty much just obviously getting in there. I'll be there on Tuesday. And then pretty much every single festivity that's going on, because I'm doing a little bit of the live stream, we will be doing it. So, of course, the Ignite CBD Vehicle Parade is coming up. And then something that's kind of cool that if you have not checked it out, I personally have not, but it's something that is on like a, bucket list or a wish list for things to do at the Mint 400 is the Dinner of Champions.
Yes.
So that's kind of something that I would like to check out. You can, hang out with some of the greatest champions from the off-road racing world and, be able to eat some amazing food and like get dressed up. So it's kind of like a win-win for everything. So that's kind of what I would be looking forward to.
Getting dressed up and off-road, like those don't go together. What are you talking about?
They do go together.
I know. I'm just, yeah. No, it is funny because, like, we see everybody at the races. Everybody's like T-shirt, jeans, maybe a polo if you're lucky. And then you go to like something like the Off-Road Hall of Fame banquet every year. And I was fortunate enough to host this last year, and everybody's in like a tuxedo. Like you legit don't even recognize people. Like all the women in the industry are in, evening gowns. All the guys are in tuxes, and you're like, what world are we in right now?
Exactly. And so, I mean, I would love to. I think that it would be so awesome. So it's just because, like you said, you always see people in like T-shirts. You always, even like me, I'm usually wearing black. And then like I look and I come back from like the week or the weekend, I'm like, I swear I actually have colorful clothes. It's just when you're out at a track all weekend or out in the dirt, I mean, all you want to do is just wear black because it's going to get dirty anyways.
Yeah, no, and that's me. Like, and I have a love-hate relationship with black and desert racing, mainly because like in the summertime, Vegas to Reno, like we have black, team shirts and stuff like that because the guys get so dirty and greasy. If you have white ones or like a light gray, the things would get like, they'd be trashed in 2 seconds. But then you wear the black, but then when it's like 115 degrees outside in Vegas, like guys are melting in their black shirts. So it's like, I have such a love-hate relationship with black and off-road, and everything I have is black, but it's like, I feel like somebody needs to invent like a dark color that isn't hot. I don't know if that's even a thing.
Or what if you were able to have black, but it was reflective where it kept you cool, but bounced the sun rays off of you?
Oh, yeah. You and I are getting really scientific here. Listeners are like, what the hell are they actually talking about? And I don't know. We're going sci-fi on the show today. Last week it was TMZ. Now you and I are like going scientific and inventing products. And we'll be on Shark Tank next year with this idea, just so you know.
And maybe we could talk to Beneath so they could be able to sponsor us.
Yeah, Mitchie, I'm trying to get Mitchie locked in, and by the time you guys listen to this, he may be locked in. I'm trying to get Mitchie locked in to the booth there at Contingency, and he hasn't been responding to my emails. I don't know if you and I need to get on a group text with Mitchie and be like, hey, are you avoiding us? Are you just like too embarrassed to show up? Like, come on, Mitch Guthrie, like what's going on here?
That's so funny. He might be. I don't know. I mean, we've been talking about some off the wall things though, and the funny thing is like we've always mentioned this. It's like you and I are just having a normal conversation, and I forget that we're recording this the whole time too. and I'm like, oh, oops, probably shouldn't have said that, but hey, here we are.
Yeah, just so you listeners know, we are actually a couple of complete dorks. So, like Tiff said, this is our real conversations here for real, and like you get us out at an event and it just really hits the fan because you never know where the hell things are going to go, especially depending on the group of people we're around. So whether it's the Vision guys or our core group when we were traveling to the Midwest last year, we had some fun dinners, didn't we?
Oh my goodness. We had some really, really fun dinners, and like you were talking about, after a while, it just becomes like a family. So I'm excited that you and I get to meet up again because, King of the Hammers was less than like a month away. So it's kind of cool just to be able to meet up, hang out, just a little bit of chat. And then it's like a longer show. And I love people watching too at the Mint 400. It's just, it's a badass all the way around.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about Lucas because, yeah, we've got obviously Midwest kind of fires up in June with Crandon, but like I think Lucas starts a weekend after the Mint there in Glen Helen. Like it's, I don't know, man. And then you and I turn around, we got UTV Worlds a month after the Mint. Like it's kind of like wham, bam, event after event after event.
Yeah, no, and that's the crazy thing because it's like this is all just West Coast desert racing, and like you said, short course and the Midwest stuff hasn't even really started yet, and so it's kind of doing that. Plus, it's kind of cool, too, because I do a bunch of different things with NASCAR and NHRA, so I get to be able to see all different types of realm, and then come June is when I do the Detroit Grand Prix, and you throw open wheel cars, so, and IMSA and IndyCar, so it's fun. I mean, we're pretty much in the busiest time right now, I feel at least.
Yeah. So Mint 400 last year, correct me if I'm wrong, that was your first Mint 400, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
And last year was, so pretty much last year was like my deep dive into desert racing. I went to Parker 425, King of the Hammers, Mint 400, and UTV World Championships.
Yeah. So what was your take on the Mint 400 last year? Obviously, you've been around off-road circles for a long time. Like, you had heard of the event. What was your take on, like, first-timer going to the Mint 400? What were you expecting? You get to Fremont, things are bananas, like stuff out in the desert. Like, what was your take on the whole Mint 400 experience for the first time?
It was awesome. Martelli's put on a good show overall. I really think that they kind of, ignite all the senses. And so, like, they had concerts and just, like, the time trials, and then they had pit crew challenge. So that's always fun. What I really like is being able to walk up and down Fremont Street. I think that's pretty badass. And then when you get over to the actual race out in, like, Prim and stuff, I think it's kind of cool to be able to enjoy the VIP section that they have there, that the Martellis put up. Yeah. But it's like an all-day event type thing, and things are going off. And I like how they incorporate the live stream, so you could be able to see from all different angles, and there's different spectator spots. I just like that if, however you want to do the Mint 400 as a spectator, there are options and, different things available, ready, set up for you to go. So I think that's the best, because being a spectator, you can watch it however you want to watch it.
And that's actually a good point. And I a lot of off-road races like Vegas to Reno, that one's tough. Like, you've got to have a pickup, you got to have an ice chest in the back of the truck, and you're just like hip hopping pits and things like that. Like the Mint 400, you're right though, and I never really thought about that. Like, I know there's a lot of people that go to the Mint, they never leave Fremont. They stay at Fremont for a couple days, and then the after parties at down there. So they kind of do things that way, but. You're right. Like, there's, for the fans that like to have their pickup truck, they like to go out, they like to have the ice chests and lawn chairs and sit along the track and have the dust blowing in their face. Like, there's plenty of that. But then if you're one of those type people that, hey, you want something a little more refined, you want to be able to have a little bar, a bar and nice, comfortable couches, like they've got the VIP treatment, where the food's brought to you. And so, yeah, I never really thought about that. But the Mint 400, there's something for everybody. No matter what type of fan you are, they've got something for you. And I think that's what's rad, because I think KOH just started doing that this year with their VIP treatment, but there's not a lot of off-road races where you can actually take it in that way, at least desert races. I know short course is a different story.
Yeah, no, and like, going off of that, you can spend as little amount of time watching it. You can hang out with friends, and they're making it back to what it was. That's what I feel like, I know there was many years that, racing wasn't going on back in the 90s and stuff, and even into like early 2000s with the Mint 400. So to see it come back, and be able to do that from, they started having races again in 2008. So, and then, we're 11 years later. I just think it's pretty badass to be able to go to such a high prestige event, but it's still off-road racing. So you kind of get both of best of both worlds. That's me, though.
Yeah. Well, and I know I was just thinking, too, I'm like, just the people, like I was looking at our guest list that we've got shaping up for Friday, and I haven't really talked about that yet on the show, but we've got some rad guests. So we've got, on the trophy truck side, we've got Ryan Arciero, absolute legend. Guy has raced everything from, his family was an IndyCar team owners to Ryan's trophy truck ball champ. That guy's a legend. He's done a little of everything, gone to Dakar and raced. He's going to be on the show. We got Jerry Zayden, owner of Camberg, who races 6100 for General Tire. We've got Sarah Price. She's going to be popping in. She does a little of everything. And then we've got like the young gun Seth Quintero, who's UTV, racer, and he coming off a big win at Parker, his first ever win. He's one of the youngest Red Bull athletes in history. And then we've got like the influencers. We got my friend Jacqueline Carrizosa, aka Brojack. She's racing a dirt bike actually. This girl, former Navy rescue swimmer who turns off-road racer on a dirt bike. Like, she's Iron Womaning the Mint 400, unheard of. And then we got to, actually I just got a text. Our good friend 4x4 Barbie Pleasant Cook. Pleasant's going to be stopping by. She's out there doing some appearances and stuff like that, so I think she's going to stop by the booth. So we got like a mix of all kinds of rad people coming by there on Fremont for us.
Now that's awesome. But you want to know who are the coolest people that we're going to get to talk to this whole weekend, Jim?
Oh, you and I talking to each other, right?
Yes, I'm so happy that you got that. I just walked you right in there, and I was like, yes.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
God. Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to interview T-Stone. T-Stone's going to interview me, and that's all you guys need to know.
That's all we're knowing. That's all we're going to I'm going to have some questions, Jim. I'm going to have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
Maybe we could just...
That's a deal. You come up with 3 questions for me. I'll come up with 3 questions for you, and we'll do a quick interview of each other.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Maybe we should open it up. Maybe I should post something tomorrow, or maybe like Wednesday or something while I'm out there. Or maybe that's what we should do. We should meet up Thursday together, and we should do some Instagram videos, and we should throw it out there to like all the social media platforms. 3 questions, like if you were Jim Beaver, what 3 questions would you ask me? And if they were me, what questions would they have me ask you?
Yeah, we need to lock that in. And I'm pretty wide open on Thursday, which is scary. Me in Vegas, I've got an autograph signing with Vision Wheel. And other than that, like I'm pretty wide open on Thursday. So we can go and actually have some fun.
Okay, cool. So let's do that on Thursday. We will figure that out and we'll talk about it. And that's exactly what we'll do. So we'll throw it out there. Hey guys, blah, blah, blah. We know the drill, but so this will be fun. I cannot wait for the questions.
Yeah. There's something about the Mint and just being on Fremont Street, the bizarreness of like all the crazy things that you see in the people, like just people watching. It's nuts on Fremont Street. It's like one of the craziest places I would say in the world to people watch.
No, yes, I agree with you. And the best is, you've been there on Halloween, obviously, when we're out there for SEMA. But yes. Halloween gets crazy out there. One time I saw these people that were in inflatable dinosaurs. They were twerking.
Oh, yeah.
But that's for another time and another story, though, Jim.
Yeah, another time, another story. Maybe we'll get into that when we're down there on Fremont. But yeah, I don't know. We've we're running up against a break, T-Stone. But we will see you, I guess, out there at the Mid 400. Obviously, people tuning in. We will be recording a show there Friday and video recording it actually as well. So look forward to that dropping sometime in the next week.
Awesome! I can't wait. Until then, everybody, stay tuned.
And we'll be back with more after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Whether you're looking for a tire that balances high performance, responsiveness, and traction in wet and light snow conditions, excellent handling and traction in wet and dry conditions, or a summer performance tire designed with the driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has you covered. From the all-new G-Max RS to the Grabber ATX, no matter what you drive, General Tire will get you where you're going. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. General Tire, cruising with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
All right. Well, I don't know. What do we have? Aaron Plessinger, Tiffany Stone in hour number 1. Been a fun go so far. So which is going to lead us into hour number 2. We got the big interview with Shawn Gibson, and I don't know, maybe talk a little bit of Supercross as well. But thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, I've actually had some questions when people have seen me at events so far. I know I mentioned that earlier on in the year I mentioned, hey, we're going to be launching my 3rd weekly show. We are going to be doing that. I think we're a week, maybe 2 weeks out. We got some contracts we're finalizing. It's a big deal. This isn't just me like dropping, a 1 hour soundbite or something like that every single week. It's a legit 3rd show. It's going to be the Down and Dirty Radio Show Off-Road Edition. And it's going to be released on our website and in the same RSS feed as this show. So if you're listening in national syndication, it won't be in national syndication. Sorry. But it will be released weekly as a 1 hour show. And it'll be on our website, and it will also be It'll be on our website, and it will also be in our RSS feed, as well as a few various other places, Podcast One and things like that. But if you want to get it the easiest way, go to iTunes, subscribe to the Down and Dirty Radio Show. You're going to get it, boom, every single week. It'll be a Wednesday drop. So Down and Dirty Radio Show will be Tuesdays, and then we'll have the Off-Road Edition on Wednesdays. Thursdays will remain Project Action Thursdays. So, we are going to be dropping that one. You'll see a press release, big announcement about it. We've got some big news regarding some of our partners involved in it. That's why it's taking so long. And you know me, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it right. And that's why I haven't dropped that yet, is because it hasn't been done right quite yet. So, that is coming. We're probably a week or two out. I think maybe the show we record at the Mint this weekend, maybe episode number 1 of that. We will see. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm looking forward to dropping that. Like I said, go and subscribe on iTunes to this show. You're going to end up getting that one eventually. And you also go to Project Action, subscribe to that one on iTunes as well. Check out our website, downanddirtyshow.com. We got all kinds of content dropping there throughout this week, especially around the Mint 400. A ton of Mint 400 content will be dropping on the website. So if you're looking for Mint 400 news and you're not going to be at this track, check out our website. It's going to be the place. All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk Supercross results right here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire. General Tire's Grabber X3 mud terrain tire offers aggressive styling and is engineered for durability with innovative performance features that are ready to carry you through extreme mud, dirt, and rock-covered terrain. For extreme traction that's ready for anything and rugged styling to match, look no further than the Grabber X3 from General Tire. Make your anywhere possible by visiting GeneralTire.com today. General Tire, aggressive styling with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012. Do you race, or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500, or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, welcome back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, kicking off hour number 2. And, we had, this was Hot Atlanta. For Supercross. Yes, we were in Hot Atlanta, and that rolls us right into Daytona. So a couple of big back-to-back Supercross weekends. But looking at our 450s, it was Cooper Webb once again, Mr. Victorious. Blake Baggett, Marvin Musquin shaking things up again a bit. Haven't seen Blake on the podium this year, really, but great seeing him there in the second spot. But looking at the point standings, man, Cooper Webb, this dude is an animal. He's points leader. Kenny Roczen there is, about 13 points back. And then another 4 points back is Marvin Tomac, about 5 points back of Marvin. And then Blake Baggett, he is 142 points. He's fallen back a little bit. So right now your horse race is Webb, Roczen, Marvin, and Tomac. But just looking, man, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 9 for Cooper Webb. Craziness. Absolute craziness. how freaking fast Cooper Webb has been this year. That's nuts, man. And then looking at 250s, this is one of those interesting ones because this is where we got East and West, kind of one of the East-West shootouts, right? So main event here for East-West shootout. It was Cianciarulo, Ferrandis, and Faulkner, 1, 2, and 3. And then we had Sexton, Cooper, and my boy Shane McElrath. But looking at the point standings right now, on the east side of things, it was Faulkner, Cooper, and Sexton, 1, 2, and 3. And then on the west side of things, you got Cianciarulo, Dylan Ferrandis, and Shane McElrath as your top 3. So, I kind of like these events. Shakes it up for the 250s, East-West. And I don't know, man, 250s, the racing there has been almost as insane as it has in the 450s. A lot of times, you look at the support series and everybody kind of half-ass pays attention to them. Supercross, man, you are dialed in this year if you're a Supercross fan because the 250 racing's been just as good, if not better at times, than the 450 stuff. And, I do know I say that. And looking back, you had Cooper Webb and Roxon with that photo finish, on the 450 side of things. But overall, 250 has been on point. So, yeah, that has been your Supercross results for this week. We are going to take a short commercial break. And when we come back, we are going to have my boy Shawn Gibson on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Anywhere is possible. It's more than just a slogan. Anywhere is possible with General Tire's wide variety of tires for whatever it is that you drive. Whether you're looking for off-road capability balanced with impressive on-road performance or ultra-high performance offering all-season traction designed with a driving enthusiast in mind, General Tire has what you need to get where you're going. General Tire, providing anywhere is possible with the Down and Dirty Radio Show since 2012.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the two-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And I'd like to welcome a good friend of mine and one of our partners in the show, Shawn Gibson with, coincidentally, Gibson Exhaust. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support you provide us, and it's always fun to have a trophy truck driver as a good friend.
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's you're making me feel kind of humble now, but
yeah. Well, only when we actually get to go for rides. Then it's a lot more fun.
Well, no, it's great to have you on because I know we've been partnered. I'm trying to think back. I mean, we're probably 4 years now, 5 years. It's been, I don't know. I've been part of the Gibson family for a long time. And when I say that, it's one thing that I've always loved about the company. I mean, I've met your dad, obviously your sister's there, you're there. Gibson, obviously you guys' name is on the brand, but it's definitely, as big as you guys have grown, it's still very much a family type company.
Yeah, no, it most certainly is. I mean, the company is designed to, just provide for our families and let us do what we love to do, which consists of pretty much all the products or all the applications we make products for. I mean, we get to build awesome exhausts for power sports and off-road cars. We get to build awesome stuff for boats and trucks and cars. And I'm sure most of your listeners are like me. I mean, that's what keeps us working hard. I mean, if it wasn't for, being able to go to the river, go to Glamis or have the trucks, I don't know what we're working for. And so the family, I guess we've all seen those stickers on the back of the toy haulers, like a family that plays together, stays together. Yeah. As much as we can get on each other's nerves here in the office, we'll be at the desert that weekend playing with each other, or we'll be at the lake, or we'll be, somewhere playing, because that's really what we enjoy doing, love being a part of.
Yeah, well, and I know, obviously, yeah, like you said, you hit up the river, the lake in the summertime. I know in the wintertime we were laughing because, you've been going to Glamis for a long time. You got all kinds of UTVs, that are decked out. And I know last year you guys went out, had a pretty significant presence there at Camp Razor. And I know you looked at me and you're like, what am I doing, man? Like, this is my weekend. This is supposed to be where I'm playing. And now I've turned my fun into work.
All right. Well, I mean, this actually last year was this last Thanksgiving was the first Thanksgiving I've never not spent in Glamis. Growing up, born and raised in Glamis, and I've never not had a Thanksgiving. Instead, I went and visited my parents. I went to Florida, and I, proposed to my now fiance and made some changes, and going to start adulting again in life. But yeah, like Glamis and going in there in Camp Razor. I mean, we've had. We started out with the rhinos, and we started out with sand cars, obviously, and ATCs and all the, what people refer to as like death traps now on the ATCs. That's what we learned to ride on. But when the rhino first came out, like, this thing is so great because it was everything we wanted our golf clips to be. Yeah. And then Polaris came out with their razors, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is everything I wanted my razor to be. And then they would come all the way down to where the new razors, the turbos and the S's. It was at the Can-Ams and all of them. I mean, they're amazing. And so, yeah, when we went out there for Camp Razor, I was all pumped. I'm like, I'm not going to bring any of my toys, nothing. We're here to just, focus on Camp Razor, moving some parts, and, growing the brand. And right as I was, like, passing the ranger station and started seeing the dunes, I'm just going, oh, my God, I made a mistake. I should have bought all my toys. What am I doing? And rolled in. But regardless of that, it was such a great event, so much fun. I mean, weather was a little bit warm at times, but we had a couple of we had our Jeep out there and a few customers' vehicles, so we got to play a little bit. But it's definitely hard going out there, not being able to play like you want to and go shred the dunes.
Yeah, I know, right? And I've been going out there to Camp Razor since the start, or since the start of Camp Razor, and so same thing. And I have a lot of fun with it because I've got obligations with Polaris, but then I get to go out and do some fun stuff and shoot video and stuff. But I think that's one thing that's rad about you guys, though. I mean, you guys know exactly the exhaust to build for any given application because you guys are there on the weekends. You're enthusiasts. You're car and automotive enthusiasts, you're UTV enthusiasts. Like you said, you're boat enthusiasts. I think that's one thing that's rad about Gibson is you guys are out there. You're amongst the people who buy your products, and what they're saying, but then you guys also use them for the same things, So whether it be hot rods or UTVs, I mean, you guys – our trucks. I mean, I've got Raptors and things like that, and Super Duty we use at the the races that all have your exhaust. But you guys know exactly what you need to come to market with because you're out there doing it on the weekends, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what we test and tune on. I mean, I guess like my list of friends in real life is probably much larger than what my list of friends on Facebook is or Instagram is. And that's just from, being out there and playing and beating on our stuff and having it, like I've managed to like bend my frame on my own Rhino. I mean, I'm the one out there breaking belts just like everybody else is in my Razor and breaking axles and beating on it. And I feel like 9 out of 10 times, if it can handle my abuse, then it should be able to handle, everybody else's abuse. Because the last thing you want to do is have to fix something out in the middle of the dunes or on the trails or anywhere for that fact. So we really tend to overbuild our stuff and make sure, it looks awesome, sounds awesome, performs awesome. I guess my goal lately has been like on the Razors, which is unique to our existing product, is having the dual pipes come up, kind of the more sand car feel-ish with the nice beauty plate. It's like, 'cause I want it to look cool too. I mean,
yeah.
It's not a race car. It's my toy car. I want it to look cool. I want it to sound cool. I want it to make some power because I've got to stare at that thing every time I go to the back of my car to, get a cold water out of a refreshment of some sort. It's like, it better look nice too. And I think it's done real well. Like when we were at Camp Razor, we did free installs. So if you bought a system there, we did free installations. And I kind of underestimated it because it's just me and one of our head R&D guys went out there. Like, we could install a few. I mean, man, they made me eat my words because I think we installed like 40 kits. Me and my R&D guys just installing them left and right all weekend long. And, I got pretty good at installing our kits again. And it was awesome because those people got to just shred right away, right? I mean, they'd pull into Camp Razor, we'd put the system on, and they would take off and go tear up the dunes with a new system. It's really quite amazing. It was a great experience. I mean, we really loved it. And it's awesome to be able to design things and have a product and be able to deliver it right to the end user at that point, and then get that instant gratification and go play with it.
Yeah. Well, here's a question for you too. We're going to put you on the spot. I know, you obviously, you know what I mean? It's Gibson exhaust, your name on it. You pull up to a stop sign or you're out in the dunes and all of a sudden somebody goes by you or pulls up, and they've got their hot rod, at the stoplight or, they've got their Razor in the dunes and, it's got that Gibson signature kind of exhaust note. There's a smile come to your face and be like, all right, yeah, we did that.
Yeah. I do get a little tingly feeling. I mean, it's pretty awesome to see other people out there doing it. I mean, like my dad once told me when we were younger, as long as men are men, we'll always be in business. And it's nice to still see that people still want their vehicles to have a voice, and they want that. And it's like people still believe like stock sucks. Like we want to throw stuff to it. I mean, there's. Like I remember when we got one of the very first 2015 Mustangs, and we were doing some testing, threw a kit on it, and it just made this thing sound epic. When we got on it, it just sounded like a muscle car, sound like that Mustang should sound.
Yeah.
And then I had to put it back to stock for a week just to do some other testing on it. And literally, I lived maybe 15 minutes from the office. The next morning, I pull it back in and say, guys, I can't drive this thing. You need to put the kit back on because it just was not fun to drive stock. I'm like, I can't do this. No matter how much I think as I get older, I'm going to want to calm it down a bit. I just can't, and then it's just my son and everyone there. You just got, you got to have it. It's amazing. I appreciate every support that we get when we do see it and hear and see people out there shredding with it. Like it's awesome because purchasing aftermarket parts should be a fun experience. You have the whole research of trying to decide which one you're going to get, and then choosing the one that you want, and then finding the place you're going to buy it from, and then getting it and installing it. And it should be a fun experience all the way through the end. And those fun experiences are what are just going to continue all of our sports, the racing and everything moving forward, and aftermarket continue growing. And as long as men are men, we're still going to be here.
And we'll be back with more with Shawn Gibson right after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Hey, this is Jim Beaver, host of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Getting down and dirty on the racetrack is all fun and games until it's time to get the dirt off. I know it all too well, which is why I've partnered with MotoShield Pro, the leaders in nanotechnology solutions on the racetrack and in off-road to combat mud and dirt buildup on my vehicles. MotoShield Pro keeps us from taking unnecessary damage and spending extra energy on cleaning. No matter the weather or the surface, having proper protection on all my vehicles saves me plenty of reprep time in a sport where every second counts. Prep your vehicle like a pro. Learn more at motoshieldpro.com.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We got Shawn Gibson on the line. Shawn, well, and here's a question. I know, what goes into you guys, like, there's I don't want to say a million different cars, but I mean, even on the UTV side of things and on the car and truck market, I mean, every year auto manufacturers come out with new cars. You guys can't build an exhaust for every single car that hits the market. I mean, what goes into you guys, obviously we got auto show season, so we got like things like the new Toyota Supra coming out and like the new Mustang Shelby and I mean, all kinds of crazy cars, but where do you guys go? All right, we need to build an exhaust for this car. I mean, what blips your guys' radar where you're like, all right, we need to get behind this platform?
Well, I mean, obviously there's new trends and stuff always kind of, emerging, such like, a while back they came out with like the CUV, which is like a crossover utility vehicle. And it was kind of like, like a mid-sized, SUV. Yeah. And that kind of had some traction, but anyone listening that knows me or knows the family or has even heard of the business or, is familiar with it knows that our core business is truck and off-road. Truck and off-road is what we do. We're the truck and off-road exhaust company. And so obviously our focus initially is going to be on new truck models coming out. So, like we have the 19 Chevys that just came out. Definitely on our radar, definitely looking at grabbing it, definitely, building new products for it, producing headers for it. And, trucks, that's our core business. That's what we're going to stick with and move forward into, much like off-roads, any new Polaris platform or Jeep platform or off-road, Raptor platform or any one of those platforms, anything new coming out, we want to be the first. We want to be on it. We want to be quick. We want to get to it. There's beyond that, if it has a V8 in it and it's fun to drive and it's a sport vehicle, we're usually going to build something for it. Diesel stuff has always been a big category for us too, but living in California and producing parts in California, we tend to be quite strapped with what we can do on the diesels and the new particulate filters. There's not a whole bunch we can do, or there's not really a whole bunch anyone can do because that DPF unit really restricts everything. And I hate to say this online to everyone, but our product on a DPF, DPF back is really for looks. So we definitely spend a lot of time making that thing look good because it's not going to increase sound, not going to increase anything unless you start removing that DPF from there. But yeah, we really just try to stick with our core and just, stay strong with where we are strong. And that's in the truck and off-road category. So that's really what we look forward to. Without rambling too far, one category we weren't super strong in a while back was the muscle car platform. We had all the applications, just weren't big on it, and we knew that the 2015 Mustang was coming out. It was a whole new body style. First time it was going to be, offered worldwide with the same platform. So, we jumped on that. Ford was putting a bunch, of money behind it through people they were sponsoring and marketing. So we wanted to jump on it. We got the VIN number 1 in here and produce some systems, and just that helped blow up our whole muscle car platform. So we try to look for some unique opportunities to help grow existing categories, but we don't want to lose focus of our main, which is truck and off-road.
Yeah, you guys had it was like it was a crazy kind of yellowish Mustang, I think, that you guys had. The thing was radder than hell, man.
Yeah, I've actually still got that. I just listed it up for sale. Yeah, it's like the two-tone gold black. It's got a Vortex supercharger on it with those long tubes for.
Don't go tell me it's for sale now. You just told me it's for sale, and I'm telling you I like it. I feel like you're getting your sales pitch.
Yeah, I got an aftermarket clutch, ACT clutch in it, Road Rider interior. This thing's a beast. It's on, HRE wheels, Toyota. I mean,
you're gonna get
I
text
tend
from
not
you.
to drive it too often because my son's in there calling me, with lack of a better word, a wussy, because I'm not going fast. And next thing you know, we're doing 120 on the way to school down the freeway. And I'm just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I've got to get out of this. I'll go drive my truck and do 80, 90 in that one.
Oh man, too funny. So before we let you go, Shawn, I know what do we got looking forward to with Gibson? To kind of kick off 2019. People that are fans of the brand. I know we got. I've been talking with you guys. We got a new Turbo S exhaust for the new Turbo S Razors coming. But what else do we have to look out for coming out of Gibson?
There's not a whole bunch I can say right now. We're trying to keep hush-hush on a few items. We're going to be introducing a new product line, but one of our main focuses right now, without saying too much about the new product line, is it's going to be a good quality type of part, but we're focusing a lot on offering products with black finishes. So you see a lot more product offerings for our existing applications offered with black tips. So you can get your duals or singles for all your late model trucks and SUVs with black, or the polished stainless steel tips. Power sports wise, we are updating all of our applications. You'll see the 19s coming out real soon. They redesigned that rear valance on the 19s, and so it kind of affected where our tips were locating. So we had to modify a little bit and introduce a new SKU. But all the new ones are coming out with a new designed beauty plate. And if any of you guys are familiar with our old products with the single gloss black beauty plate that would cover up the exhaust, our newer ones has a nice mesh finish, two-tone flat color. Looks amazing. So definitely look out that. You guys can also purchase those stuff direct on our website as well. On just you can purchase the beauty plates and kind of customize those offerings. But for the most part, we're just constantly producing new things weekly and daily, and just trying to keep building stuff in house, keep everything made in the USA, and do our best to remain small but mighty and have fun while we're at it. The other thing too is, I don't know if some of you listeners out there, I'm sure everybody thinks now it's illegal to own an exhaust in Southern California because of the new laws and all the memes that went out there. The law that's there has been there since I was a kid. I've had numerous exhaust modification or sound tickets through my life, but it's a law that's existing. All of our exhausts, except for a couple of our Metal Militia exhaust systems, comply with the existing sound regulations. So don't think that because there's this law you can't change your exhaust anymore. You can still do it. It's just kind of like window tint. If you're running around revving this thing out, driving it driving it out to the limiter, banging gears, you're probably going to get pulled over. And if you get an exhaust ticket, you're probably lucky you just got an exhaust ticket. So
there's a lot of truth in that statement right there.
Exactly. So, other than that, yeah, man, we're just looking forward to. Us personally, we're at that point. We've got the winter's kind of coming to an end in another month or so. We're gonna start transitioning into going to the lake again and coming hanging out with you guys out in the Parker and Havasu and the weather warming up and get our boats out there. And so that's what, personally what I'm excited about is, I love the desert, but you kind of get to the point where you're like, now let's go play in the water and vice versa. And so, yeah, that's about it. You'll have to touch base with me next week, too, because we're supposed to go to the mountains this weekend in Big Bear. It's supposed to snow 2 feet up there, which is crazy for our local mountain.
Yeah, it's gnarly. It's it's all kinds of, I don't know, weather's been bizarre in the Southwest this year, but it's been fun. I know, we're supposed to race in the rain this weekend for the Parker 425. Like you said, snow up there, and but then it's one day we have a heat wave in Parker for the winter, and then the next day it's in the 30s. I don't know, it's just bizarre, man. But what that tells me is March will be fun because I've got this thing on the weekends. You go out in the Razors in the morning, and then about noon you end up at the river, and then you spend the afternoon in the water. So you get the desert, you get the dirt and the water all in one day, man. That's the hot ticket for me, anyways.
So now I got a question for you. So what's your take on these all-wheel drive trophy trucks?
Ooh, all-wheel drive trophy trucks, man. I spend enough time in the rally community where, dude, it's the hot ticket, and I spend a lot of time in all-wheel drive rally cars. I think the big thing is just getting the platform to live in the desert, and once it lives in the desert, I think, you know, I've said before, I think in the next probably 3 to 5 years, everybody in trophy trucks is going to be in an all-wheel drive. I won't say everybody, but I'd say probably at least 2/3 of the field. But it's just getting them to live. But the advantages are crazy, just in acceleration and cornering and things like that. I just, you know, it's just nobody's ever really been able to get it to live right yet, you know?
Now, do you feel it's better on tires and everything too? Because if the wheel speed isn't, you know, 150 to your 70 miles an hour on the two rear tires?
Yeah, and that's a big thing. Like, and I've talked with Justin Matney and some of the guys, and they say tire life's crazy because we'd shred a set of tires in 150 miles, a set of rears. Fronts will last forever. But like they're saying, like they can double the tire life because now all four wheels are spinning. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, they, instead of going 150 on a set of rears, they can go 300 on all four tires. You know.
Now, do you see it going to kind of like a Pro 2, Pro 4 type of class and split it, or is it still going to be wide open?
I think it'll just stay wide open, and I think it'll stay wide open. But I think that I think the two-wheel drives will just get weeded out. You know what I mean? I don't think that they're getting. You know, I think anybody who wants to build a two-wheel drive will end up doing like a 6100 or something. You know, with that spec V8 engine. You know, I think at some point, I think you'll still be able to run a two-wheel drive and trophy truck. They're not going to isolate the guys, but I just think if you want to be competitive, you're going to have to go to the all-wheel drive platform at some point. You know.
Now, here's another question. I'm sorry that I'm interviewing you now about this, but if you were to start racing your truck at the beginning of the season, like in the Best in the Desert or Score, and then you had two trucks, a two-wheel drive and a four-wheel drive, can you change your truck halfway through and still get the same amount of points?
Yeah, it's based on driver. It's not based on trucks. The points are tied to the driver. So I know even talking with Justin Matney, he's doing that. They've got the Geyser all-wheel drive truck, and then they've got this brand new lightweight two-wheel drive Geyser. I can't remember if they call it G6 or something like that. He's going to be doing that this year. Depending on the track, he's going to be pulling out either the four-wheel drive or the two-wheel drive truck. So I think –
See, that's crazy. And then that's where the budget has got to control. It's like, oh, my gosh, that's got two trucks now.
Yeah.
Like, with this track, I should do really good with the two-wheel drive, and with this track, I'm going to do really good with the four-wheel drive. That's awesome. Yeah. I can't wait to see this four-wheel drives running. I remember a long time ago when Dondell built that Bass one down there in that little short course type of off-road race, and he had the all-wheel drive. It was a rear-engine all-wheel drive truck. Do you remember that one?
Oh, dude, I remember that thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't live much then, but
no. And we'll keep the conversation rolling here with Shawn Gibson when we return here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, along with Shawn Gibson of Gibson Performance. And I don't know, Shawn, what the heck were we talking about, buddy? Were we talking about like all-wheel drive trophy trucks, right?
You know, is Bryce Menzies running an all-wheel drive right now?
Yeah, so Menzies, he just got, what was it, last year? Vegas to Reno. I had to think back. Yeah, and that truck, from what I understand, the development budget on that was $2+ million to develop that truck. It's all carbon fiber body, like all-wheel drive. Like I think it's like billet sequential gearbox. Like I guess that thing is like Formula One car level insane. But I heard that was like $2 million plus budget to develop that truck. So that's why I'm like, man. I'm racing trophy truck, but I don't know how long, man. These UTVs and that budget, that's looking mighty fine for me, buddy.
Right? Well, I mean, you still have the same amount of fun. It's sometimes not even more fun.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you look at some of these razors, I mean, if we wouldn't even call them UTVs or razors. I mean, like the one, what's his name just built, Millen. I mean, they're like Class 1 cars. I mean, or at least they're like Class 10 cars.
Yeah, well, I know ours, like our race car. I mean, it's, we're probably right around the 6-figure mark. What we've got into our race razor, and it's like, it's crazy, But like some of them, like you said, and ours got built 2 years ago, and I already know what I'm going to do in my next one. But like you said, some of these, like, they're running the same steering racks now that Class 1 cars and Class 10 cars are running. Like, I mean, we got 3-inch coilovers. Like, they're the same size shock as I run on my trophy truck, and we're running on a razor. Like, it's crazy.
It is. It's awesome. And now the car count at these things, there's obviously a lot more side-by-sides, right, than probably other classes. It's probably going to be one of the largest growing classes, I would say.
Yeah, I think we're probably close to 150 side-by-sides, most of the best in the desert races, counting Pro Turbo and then the naturally aspirated class, and then they've got unlimited, and then that new class we were talking about earlier about for the kids and stuff called like the rally class or something like that, and then sportsmen. So yeah, there's probably about 150 UTVs, which is, that's a good chunk for any kind of division,
Well, so now you're right in the mix of, the UTV with Polaris and the rally car and the racing and off-road racing. What do you think the future looks like for these side-by-sides?
Dude, I don't even know at this point. I think, the biggest thing, like, talking with people, like, these builds are getting crazy. And we saw Wayne Matlock at the 1,000. Like, he finished 23rd overall in all the race vehicles. Like, he would have been, like,
awesome?
second or third in Class 1. I mean, he beat all the Class 10 cars. It was, like, it's nuts. So it's like, I don't know, man, because if you would have asked me this 2 or 3 years ago, like, I would have thought I knew where the max was, but dude, I have no idea where the limit is on these things. Like, I honestly, I never thought I'd say it, but, I could see these things running with Class 1s at some point with the power to weight and everything. I mean, it's, if we could start.
do you see? Go ahead.
I was going to say, we get the belts to live, we would, it's just right now we're fighting belts,
Well, and that's what I was like. That's what I said. Like, do you see more sequential gearbox, platforms coming out?
I could, because I know, like, even talking with like Robbie Gordon, he's developed like a billet sequential gearbox for his his UTV. It's not legal. It's not legal for anything. So the technology's there. It's like, and at some point they're gonna make it legal for something. You know what I mean? So like, there's guys toying with this stuff already. So it's like, man, I don't know. It's crazy, but it's even like my gearbox. Like, we just had, and our front differential, we just hired Weddle to do those. And I'm like, dude, this is crazy. This company makes like sequential gearboxes for Class 1 cars. And here we've got our UTV transmission and differential going to them, It's gnarly, dude. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's a fun time to be. And the thing is like the stock ones, I have just as much fun in it, just with some safety upgrades and my Gibson exhaust on there. Like, I have just as much fun going to the dunes or out in the desert in those too,
Oh, well, and the reason why we can have so much fun is because all your friends have the same ones too, and everybody's on the same platform. It's not like, you got the trophy truck and we're all following you around in razors. We're all in the razors. Everybody's capable of going over all the obstacles. The vehicles are capable. You've got all the spare parts. Like, it's a great experience. I mean, it's great for just groups of people.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. It's I'm excited for the future, man. I think off-road's in a good spot right now. Obviously Ford's cranking out the Raptors. We got the UTV side of things. Like, you go out to Glamis. I do. I go out the desert here in Parker on any given winter weekend, dude, and it's slam-packed. I think it's, sports, the whole industry is healthy right now,
Well, it is. You look at all the side-by-sides growing, it's a horsepower war, suspension war. You look at all the trucks, it's a horsepower war. You look at all the cars,
it's a horsepower war. Like my dad's kind of mentioned, like he kind of feels like he's living like in the 60s and 70s again, where just, the power and people are, the big three are pushing back and forth and, trying to outdo each other. It seems like a great time, and it's exciting. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm glad we don't have more like, Priuses coming out, and they're not trying to evolve the Prius and all that stuff. But, even though if you look at some of the Teslas, those things are pretty sweet too. As fast as these things are getting, they're pretty awesome. But it's a great time, I think, to be alive.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. If you're a car person or a automotive person or horsepower person, man, it doesn't get any better than what we've got right now. I think that's for sure, man. This is a great era to be involved in the industry.
Right. Well, you've been around water your whole life too. I mean, who would have thought that outboard boats on performance cats would be outselling inboard outboards now with the new Mercury 400s and all the new outboard platforms coming out? I mean, like twin engine stock 28, 30-foot boats doing 120, almost 130 miles an hour. It's like it's nuts.
And you know what's crazy about the boat industry? People want to talk about car prices getting expensive.
Dude,
boats are nuts. And I'm like, and they're selling. Like, they're selling like crazy. And I'm like, man, has anybody priced a new boat recently? Because I have, and it's crazy. I'm looking at pre-owned stuff because I'm like, man, that's like a mortgage payment. Well, not a mortgage payment because they'll finance you pretty long. But I'm like, man, you can buy a house in some areas for that.
Dude, it's out of control. I priced out one, and I was looking at swapping a ramshaft or something, and I'm just like, you know what? Right now, my dream boat is an older Mach 26 DCB with some twin 300s on the back, or a 25 Daytona or something like that, and it'd be a perfect lake boat. I couldn't imagine dropping the coin on one of these new boats right now. It's pretty insane. It's almost like. So it's almost sad because, like, man, they're so beautiful and so nice, but holy smokes, I don't think I could have fun on that boat.
Yeah, right. Well,
Let alone let any of my kids on there or anybody else on there other than myself. I'd be a loner the whole time.
Yeah, don't spill your Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know. I was just pricing out this just a couple weeks ago. I was looking at like new Mastercraft because I wakeboard and wake skate and wake surf and stuff, and I was like, man, let's price out one of these. And I'm like, I remember when you get a really nice one for 40, 50 grand brand new, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, 150K. Yeah, we'll look at one that's maybe 10 years old.
Yeah, my brother just bought one, and I don't know how much he was BSing me about the price and stuff, but he said, I mean, I don't even know what kind it was, but I mean, one of the triple throwdown, best of the best, take the options list, draw a line from top to bottom, was over $200,000. And just like, oh my gosh, like that's insane.
That's gnarly, man.
But well, hey man, I know we got off topic, and sorry for taking it there, but thanks for everything. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for having us on and being there, and thanks for keeping off-road racing alive too through all the avenues that you do, and being the voice of reason to everyone.
Yeah, I don't know about the voice of reason, but we're definitely the voice of fun a lot of times. And speaking of that, we got to get out to Glamis together sometime soon and have a little fun, buddy.
For sure, man. Well, thanks again. Good times, and if you want to throw me back on, reach out to me.
Awesome catching up with Shawn Gibson. That's one of those things where, you have a sponsor for so many years and they become really, really good friends of yours. And, Shawn is definitely one of those guys. And, the one thing I love about Gibson Exhaust and Shawn and, his sister Summer, and just everybody there, they eat, sleep, breathe, hot rods, motorsports, automotive aftermarket. They're not bean counters, right? On the weekends, they're at Glamis, they're in their razors, they're shredding the dunes. In the summertime, they're on their, on their boats on the lake, you know what I mean? And, with their big hot rod boats. And, it's one of those things where they live the lifestyle. They've got an exhaust company, but they also, live the lifestyle. And I think, that's what's really awesome. It's an authentic company with authentic people that work there. It's family owned, and they give back to the community. I mean, they were out at Camp Razor last year, did free exhaust installs, and I think they literally ran out of exhausts. They sold so many of them. We're stalling them for at Camp Razor for everybody in the Razor community, and it was just they've done some stuff with Warfighter Made, my good friends over there, and help veterans out. And I know RJ Anderson and I both very fortunate to be aligned with Gibson Exhaust and be brand ambassadors for them. But just an amazing company, and it truly are a great group of people. And I don't want to give you guys the sales pitch right now and be like, all right, go to Gibson Exhaust and and hit them up if you need all your exhaust needs. But legit, if you they've got some of the best product in the industry. But if you do need an exhaust, definitely worth checking out on their website, because they are good people, and they're not just a phone number, and you're not just an email address or something. You can go out to Glamis, you can go out to the river, you can go out to the desert. You're going to see them there. The owner of the company will talk with you and chat with you and things like that. And I think that's really rad that when you get that authentic that authenticity with any kind of brand. Awesome catching up with Shawn. Good stuff. I know they've done some rad stuff. I know even the race exhaust I've got on my UTV, we had one, it got mangled when a trophy truck smashed the back of the Razor. So they went and designed us a stronger exhaust. Not that their exhaust wasn't strong in the first place, but ours got crunched by a trophy truck, and they're like, hey, we can make this stronger, so they go back to the drawing board and make me a custom one-off exhaust. The thing's been on the race car for like 2.5 seasons now. Never had a problem with it. The trophy truck exhaust, they designed me a custom one-off trophy truck exhaust. I got their stuff on my chase trucks, my play razors. It's pretty rad. They literally will go, they'll create something if there's a demand or if there's a need for it. And, they definitely like to get creative, So, good times with Shawn Gibson, and definitely check him out. So, all right, enough with the Gibson sales pitch here. We're back to business here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. We do have to take a short break here in a minute or two. Once again, I will be out at the Mint 400 this week. I know get off air here. I got a little bit of odds and ends to do, and then boom, bam, heading to Las Vegas later on this week. So definitely looking forward to being out at the Mint 400. Swing by, Vision Wheel, come say hey to me, get an autograph both Thursday and Friday. I'll be in their booth, and then obviously Friday doing radio with a bunch of rad racers and influencers there at the Polaris Razor booth on Friday. So definitely swing by and say hey there as well. All right, we are going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor, we're going to wrap things up and look ahead to next week, right? All right, thanks guys.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back here to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Thank you guys for keeping it locked and loaded here. Amazing show today. Big shout out to my boy Shawn Gibson with Gibson Performance, Tiffany Stone, Aaron Plessinger, my friends at Supercross who helped me book some interviews over there, Podcast One, all of my friends at Sports Byline, everybody that supports the show. This weekend, Mint 400, like I said, I'll be out there Thursday and Friday on Fremont, both doing radio and autograph signings. Check my social media. if you want all the details, at Jim Beaver 15. That'll get you, in the know on all things that are happening with me in the Mint 400 and allow you to follow along as we race on Sunday as well. So that coming up, we got IndyCar, the kickoff in St. Pete this weekend. Definitely looking forward to that race. I'm going to have to throw it on the DVR, but man, you guys, I would love to hear your commentary on that throughout the race at Jim Beaver 15 on social media, because I will be monitoring my phone, but I won't be able to watch the race. So I'd love to hear your guys' commentary on it on Sunday. Also, Supercross coming up, and I don't know, a bunch of other stuff. But anyways, big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Vision Wheel, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, MotoShield Pro, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino for all their support of the show. Also, Impact Race Products, our good friends at My Medic, 4 Wheel Parts, and everybody else that supports us. Once again, at Jim Beaver 15 on social media. Make sure and go over to iTunes, subscribe to this show, and definitely subscribe to my other show, Project Action, as well. And if you want in on that new show, the off-road edition of this show, iTunes, subscribe to the Down and Dirty Radio Show. That's where you're going to get it. Speaking of Project Action, I had the chance to interview the director of Woods Rider snowboarding film, and that was last week's Project Action. Great interview, great flick. It is available on iTunes and all kinds of streaming services coming up this next week. So definitely check that out. Check out the interview, and then check out the film when you guys get a chance to. Definitely good stuff. I get hit up all the time if you're looking to go to Dirtfish Rally School. It's JB Dirtfish. That's your coupon code for Dirtfish Rally School. Definitely plug that in on their website and get you a good chunk of change off when you decide you want to head up there for some fun at the Fish. Anyways, we're going to sign off today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Don't forget, follow me on social media. I'll give you all the know on all things Mint 400, and we will be doing website updates all weekend long at downanddirtyshow.com from the race as well. So that's about it. We'll see you guys next week. Be safe. As always, game on.